What's going on, guys? Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you the battle for Week 9 of Season 6 of the CPC up against Techno himself. And before I get into the battle, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button as it helps out a lot and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And also, if you've not done so already, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord that will be linked in the description below, where we have channels for all facets of Pokemon, whether that is draft format, TCG, or smoke on content. But yeah, anyway, on to the battle. Like I said, we're up against Base Tech, and a quick rundown of the team if you did not watch the team builder. Just quick heads up for those of you that did not watch it. This team was built in 10 minutes. I mean, I already have clinched playoffs, so I just decided to try to use some funner sets and just see how that went. We have a Tapu Koko that is physical with a terrain extender. We have a Salamence who inexplicably has a stealth, or has an even number of HP because I made this team in 10 minutes and didn't realize that going into this battle. We have a Ferrothorn that has absolutely no attacking moves, just completely support, and a Tautomized Necrozma, which is something I've been wanting to use for a while, a defensive Swampert, and then an Alolan Raichu with the Psychium Z. So yeah, looking at his team, it looks like Raichu can put in a pretty good amount of work if I can keep the Aurora Veil off the field and rocks up. If rocks are up, I think Raichu might just straight up be able to sweep through his team once I get some damage off on the Tyranitar Slurpuff. Well, actually, no, not just straight sweep. I need to wear down his team quite a bit in order for Raichu to be able to sweep through that. But anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right on into the battle. He's going to lead with his Tyranitar, as I'm going to lead with the Ferrothorn. Kind of anticipated that, or the Ninetales. So he's just going to go for rocks, as I'm immediately going to try to chip down this T-Tar for my Alolan Raichu, because the second I can get T-Tar into Surf range, the better chance I will have to win. He does reveal the Fire Blast, but because I do have the Aqua Berry, I will be able to chew that nicely. And he gets the burn. I mean, that's really not that huge of a deal. I mean, it's bad because Ferrothorn gets chipped down even more, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, this battle is really inconsequential anyway, as I am able to get a Toxic off. And now I'm going to reveal the Protect, get a little more damage. If he wanted to try to double, that's what he would do, as he did double into the Heliolisk. And so what I'm going to do this turn with the Heliolisk in is, I believe I'm just going to try to get up a Spike, just because Heliolisk was more than likely to Volt Switch. He goes right back out into the Tyranitar. Ferrothorn is slowly getting lower and lower, which is unfortunate with that burn. But now that Tyranitar is back in, I think he's just going to try to take me out with another Fire Blast. So I go into my Swampert, take that very nicely, and now Tyranitar is getting lower and lower. This is a free opportunity to get up my rocks. Now I'll have rocks and spikes, as he does go into his Alolan Ninetales, and this does give him the opportunity to pretty easily get up the Aurora Veil, which is going to be annoying for my team to have to deal with. So, that being said, I'm just going to go into my Ferrothorn. If he wants to go for Freeze Dry, I can just kind of sack that off. And this way, I don't go straight into Necrozma. I force him to waste a turn of the Aurora Veil to take out my Ferrothorn with the Hidden Power Fire. And actually, depending on the investment, the burn ended up mattering in putting my Ferrothorn in range of that, so that's actually kind of funny. But either way, I'm going to go into my Necrozma, just take this as an opportunity to set up my Autotomize and try to waste the Aurora Veil while simultaneously wearing down his team with the dual hazards that I have up. And I could just go straight for the Iron Head this turn, but as long as Alolan Ninetales is in, like, I can easily waste the Aurora Veil. Like, I don't need to really I don't have any urgency to take Alolan Ninetales out right now. I can just try to waste Aurora Veil, take the hits, recover up with lefties, and then this turn was a bad play on my part. So I do go for the Iron Head. I was predicting a switch into, I was just predicting a switch that he wouldn't stay in with the Alolan Ninetales, because I could have taken another hit from the Alolan Ninetales and gotten pretty much and gotten another turn off of the Aurora Veil. I would have been fine to KO at this next coming turn, but I decided to go for the Iron Head just because I was predicting something to try to come in to take advantage of the Photon Geyser. But hindsight 2020, Tyranitar would have had to come in on rocks and a Spike, and I would have been able to just knock that thing out with the toxic damage. As you can see, Iron Head did 21, Earthquake would have easily done more than that, and with the toxic damage I would have been able to knock it out and stall out another turn of Aurora Veil. If Excadrill tried to come in, I would be faster than it, as Sand was not up. So really, that was just not a good play on my part, going for Iron Head. But I mean, I really wasn't like overly, I wasn't spending like 5 minutes thinking of my play. I was just like, this looks like a good move, let's just go for it. But so unfortunately, I will not be able to waste out another turn of Aurora Veil, as sand does go up. Tyranitar will go down, fortunately. However, this means Excadrill can come in under Aurora Veil, under sand, and this is just all kinds of not good, as he is able to Rapid Spin, get rid of the hazards. I'm able to close to 2-hit KO that thing with an Earthquake, but now knowing that he will probably go for Earthquake once again to try to take me out, as a +2 Necrozma is a big threat for him to deal with. I'm going to go into my Salamence, and so yeah, Salamence is in. You can see that at the end of this turn, there's 1 turn left of Aurora Veil and 2 turns left of Sand. Now, what I'm going to do is one of the most puzzling plays I've ever done looking back at it. So he's going to Iron Head, and I'm going to Dragon Dance. So I'm still trying to figure out what I was thinking on this play, because, I mean, the only thing that I can imagine that I did was looked at Sandstorm and Aurora Veil and switched the two. Like, I switched the turns left on the two in my head, to where I thought there was 1 turn left of Sandstorm and 2 turns left of Aurora Veil, to where I would need that little extra damage from Dragon Dance to take out the Excadrill. Because, I mean, what I should have done right here is just gone straight for the knockout on Excadrill. I should have just knocked that thing out, because, as you will see, I'm actually, unfortunately, going to have to sack 2 more Mons to Excadrill, not only the Salamence, but I will end up having to sack my Necrozma as well in order to guarantee take that thing out. So, yeah, that was just kind of a not good play by me. I don't like that play. Still trying to figure out what exactly I was thinking. I'm pretty sure that I switched the turns in my head, but either way, Excadrill, of course, is going to be able to outspeed me in the sand and knock me out, so I basically just lose my Salamence for absolutely no reason, and Excadrill will not only be able to take out the Salamence, it will be able to claim another kill in the Necrozma as I go into my Tapu Koko and U-turn back into my Necrozma. Now, this was kind of this was a play that, like, what I could have done is gone immediately into my Raichu and gone for a Surf to try to knock him out, but then I wouldn't have been under electric terrain. I don't have the speed to deal with something like a Choice Scarf Heliolisk or even just a Ninetales that's fully invested, so I decided that sacking Necrozma in order to get the electric terrain up for my Raichu to be in there with the terrain was more important than keeping Necrozma as a sack for later. I mean, I don't know. I question that play, but I still think it was the right one, just because Raichu now has like 8 or 7 turns of terrain to play with, and he even just goes for the Z Tectonic Rage, which of course is going to knock out my Necrozma from there, and now I'm going to be able to go into Raichu. But I mean, now Raichu has a solid 7 turns of electric terrain to deal with, to where he's now on the back foot, because my modest Raichu just took out his Excadrill. I have the ability to one-shot any one thing on his team. Tries to go into Ninetales, Thunderbolt knocks that thing out, Heliolisk, I can Psychic, and Charizard, Slurpuff, I can all Shattered Psyche to one hit those things. But the key will be preserving my Shattered Psyche for when I absolutely need it and when it's the most necessary. So he's going to go into Slurpuff. And I actually decided to calc, because I was like, you know what, I don't want to end Alolan Raichu's sweep just because I didn't calc properly. I'm going to calc this and see what the play is, because I want to save my Shattered Psyche for either the Charizard or the Heliolisk, because those are the 2 things that I think the game is going to come down to. If I have to against the Slurpuff, I will, but I really, really do not want to. So I calced it, and Adamant Play Rough can potentially knock me out if he gets the high roll. Like, if he gets the highest roll, he can knock me out with Adamant Play Rough. So I was like, ah, crap, I need to blow my Z move. I need to just knock out the Slurpuff so it's not able to end my Raichu sweep prematurely. And I don't know, maybe Psychic plus like Swampert and Koko can deal with the Charizard and the Heliolisk. So that's ultimately what I ended up going for as my Z, as I will go for my Z move, and it will be able to knock out the Slurpuff. Talked to him after the game, turned out to be jolly, and his plan was just to try to get me in range of Hail and then have Ninetales come in and then just try to sack stuff to where it would eventually knock out my Raichu. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I do just want to switch out so I can maybe get this Charizard a little bit lower to where Psychic can eventually take out the Charizard later in the game and potentially win me the game. So I'm just going to go Swampert on the Dragon Claw. Doesn't do nearly enough. If he gets up to +1, he can potentially knock me out in one hit if he gets the roll. But at this point, I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake. If I can get damage on this Charizard, it is almost guaranteed game, but he does go into Ninetales. He is able to take the hit. And then what I should have done right here is I should have just gone Koko. Like, I really should have just straight up switched it into Koko. I do have the Roost. I would be able to take whatever hit the Ninetales went for, and then Brave Bird with Hail into my Alolan Raichu would have been able to knock out the Charizard. And then also Swampert would have been able to deter setup and like take out the Charizard or the Heliolisk in one hit with Earthquake. So really it was just kind of a dumb play on my part staying in with Swampert, as he is going to be able to knock me out with Freeze Dry. So bad play on my part, good play on his part. And now what I am going to be able to do is just, unfortunately, my electric terrain, my terrain extender is actually hurting me. Because what I would have loved to do in this situation is just have my Tapu Koko, or to have my Tapu Koko reset up the electric terrain and then just let it go down by attacking the Heliolisk or the Charizard to where Raichu can just come in, outspeed both of those, and potentially win the game. But because I have the terrain extender, I only have 2 turns left, so in an attempt to help my Alolan Raichu, I probably cost myself a game with that, with the item choice that I did have on my Koko. So yeah, I mean, like, if I had not had the terrain extender, would have reset up the electric terrain, U-turned, or Brave Birded into my Brave Birded into the Charizard, or just like roosted up on the Heliolisk. I mean, I would have just taken out the Ninetales with my Koko still in. He would have been forced to take out my Koko, and then Raichu probably would have been able, or might have been able to clean up the game, depending on Heliolisk's spread, because Hyper Voice might be able to just OHKO me from this range. So I'm going to go into my Raichu. I have 1 turn up of electric terrain. I can't really do anything with Raichu at this point. I don't have enough sacks, so maybe preserving the Necrozma was the better play. But I do just go for a Psychic on the Charizard, try to get it in range of Koko, which I luckily end up doing. So it's not like, it's not the end of the world at this point, because Raichu was able to take out the Charizard, but again, if I didn't have that terrain extender, I would have been in a much, much better spot, as Koko could have gotten the damage off for Raichu to be able to revenge kill the Charizard. But now I'm going to go into my Tapu Koko, just go for the Brave Bird, take out the Charizard, and depending on the Heliolisk set, I might be able to stall it out, but I mean, Hyper Voice is going to be doing way too much to me anyway, and I'm assuming that this thing is Scarfed, which it ends up being, and he does just take me out with that Hyper Voice. So I mean, like, that was just a very good game. I mean, I obviously made some very dumb plays, and hindsight is always 20/20 on things like sacking the Necrozma to get a better chance with, or to get my Raichu in electric terrain versus just bringing it in and knocking the Excadrill out with the Surf. So I mean, like, those plays are always hindsight 20/20. I mean, regardless, Techno played that very well for a team that I spent 10 minutes of prep on. I think even with the misplays, it still ended up being a very close 1-0, so very happy with how the team ended up turning out. But we do take the L, but it's to a good player and a most likely playoff opponent. So looking forward to the chance to face Tech again in playoffs. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.